Yeah, it jumps in and out. Okay, I got you. When we're live, it'll come off. I got you,
Ready?
got you, got you, got you. Okay, I got it. Cool. I can hear you. Let me go. Okay, I'm gonna go get my water and my fan. I'll be
Oh,
right back.
let's try Instagram anyway.
Okay.
So we go like, yeah. Ready? Well, now, well, now. Okay. Hi. Can you say hello? Any of you that is live, can you just say hello so I can display your name? Just say hello. If you've got expectation, let me know in the chat. That would be nice. Yeah. Just say hello. Lizzy just got off. So she's coming on soon. Hi, Mommy J. Hello, Shegun. I know. My NDOT, right? Awesome. Okay. I hope you're excited and you're ready to learn because that's the goal. We're here to transfer knowledge. So if you are live on YouTube, Facebook, can you drop hello? I'll display your name. Okay. So this is a live chat with Lizzy Elizabeth Morris. I'll introduce that in a little bit. We have people on Instagram. Lizzy, you want to join on Instagram now? We're live on Instagram.
Okay.
So once we come on, then we can kick off.
Instagram.
I'll drop the link for you if you want to join us on YouTube. YouTube is more interactive. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, it's more interactive and I can display your question, I can display your name. Aha, so I'll drop the link so you can join us on YouTube, Facebook, and on LinkedIn. So I'll drop the link just in a little bit. Let me just drop this here. Okay.
I'm gonna do that now. All right. Okay. How do I?
Okay.
How do I do that?
Okay.
Ah, got
Easy.
it.
Whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
I'm turning you down so then we don't get feedback. All right. So we got Insta going now.
So you mute the Instagram device.
Okay. I've
So
requested
that
it.
people
We'll see how long it takes for you to get the request.
have you requested? Oh yeah, fantastic. Okay. Awesome. So Lizzy is joining us on IG.
There we go. Cool. All right. This is okay. Let me pull it down a bit. So let me actually. There we go.
You have to mute that device.
Oh, it went back up even though I muted it. Okay, it's muted again. There we go.
Okay. Awesome.
Awesome.
That's a beautiful Lizzy. Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Today is one of those days that we like to transfer knowledge because that's the fundamental goal about what we're doing. And the ultimate goal is to bridge the digital skill gap and get more people into this tech space that people are terrified to join. It's not that deep. It is not at all. It's not that deep to join. It's not. I tell you that. Okay, so my name is Mercy George-Igbafe. I'm a digital strategist. I'm passionate and what can I say? Overly passionate about Agile And so the goal is for me to promote agile mindset because the result is unprecedented. So you get to hear our story, is our untold stories, how you know that we can relate to where you are and you can connect with us as well, no matter where you are, no matter your level. So I hope you're excited. I hope you're enthused to learn from us. So let me just introduce my guest today. Her name is Elizabeth Morris, aka Lizzy. Okay, she's an Agile Transformation Coach, a leader in leadership strategic. She's a life coach, an executive life coach, a scrum master. She's an inspirational speaker. She believes being agile is all about the state of art. She believes being agile is about a state of heart beyond about being mere the state of the mind. So she has over 18 years experience as an agilist in management consulting across various sectors of the industry. She's Jamaican. Okay, she has a Jamaican root, but she's American citizen as well. And she has experience in banking, in insurance, in entertainment, non-profit, and utility. So we'll get to hear our story. So Lizzy, what would you like to say to the first people so that they can hear your story and learn more about you?
Okay, hi everybody. Most people don't call me Elizabeth unless one, they don't know me, or two, they might be sarcastic. So everybody calls me Lizzy.
You're always a bit low though.
Is my volume low? Is that better?
More closer, yeah, much better.
Better? Okay, yeah. The only time people call me Elizabeth is when they don't have a connection with me. So it's like first time meeting or something. But most people call me Lizzy. People who've known me from my childhood call me Cherie.
Oh, Cherie.
Cherie. So my mother named me Cherie Elizabeth Hutchinson is my original name, right? Cherie Elizabeth Hutchinson. Obviously, I've been through a few marriages, so the last name's changed. I'm stuck on the last name I have now, though, the Morris name, because I branded it. So regardless of what happens in my life, that is going to be remaining the last name. Okay. It's just
So
so you
you're
know. So you'll always be able to find me under Lizzy Morris. Worst case scenario, right? If you're trying to hunt me down. My story of how I got into Agile was really quite interesting because I got into it when I had just moved to America. All right. So I moved to America under very odd circumstances. So it wasn't an intentional move to America. It just kind of ended up happening and I ended up having to stay and being here, etc. And so as a result of that, the career and business I had built, I could no longer service because for the first time ever in my life, I had disconnected, traveled without my laptop, traveled without any of my devices to hook me to my customers and etc. And I was here in America stranded. So I ended up losing everything I had built. And what rebuilt my world was Agile. So Agile is what rebuilt my world. So I have a very strong connection to the idea of Agile and especially the Scrum framework. Because if it wasn't for them, the lifestyle I have today, what I've been able to do with my children, the rebuilding, it would never have happened. And the secret little thing that's going to sound weird to those, so don't be offended if you are somebody who is agnostic and has no faith. Fine, that's cool. I'm just going to tell you about me. All right. I was attending a church and I had a spiritual mentor and I had an opportunity for two jobs. So this is now about to be second job in the US because the first one was horrible, right? So I'm about now to take a job. So I get a job offer from American Airlines and I get a job offer from USAA, two companies. Right now, understand, I was living in the DFW Metroplex. My children were in the DFW Metroplex. I am very new to America. I've just got the ability to work now, right? And I am pushed with, do I stay where I am? Because American Airlines is like just up the road from the house, right? It's not far. Or do I go all the way to this San Antonio place that I don't know anything about and understand, don't know anybody, don't have any connections or nothing? So it seemed logical to go with American Airlines. When I talked to my spiritual advisor, Apostle Marjorie Hilton, she said, I just believe God wants you to go to San Antonio. And I go, but I don't have anybody in San Antonio. I don't have no place to live in San Antonio. There's all these things. No, no, no. And I followed the advice, and voila, here's where I am today. So had I not gone to San Antonio, I would not have been introduced to Scrum. I would not have seen it change a project's total existence and decided that it was what I wanted to do for life. So that was the move that brought me to where I am today. So where you guys all know Lizzy Morris, the Agilist, the Scrum Lover woman, all of that came from that point of decision.
Number one of the bombshell you just dropped.
Are you still there? We seem like we've held up. We've stalled. We've stalled. We've stalled. I seem to still be moving, but right now, Mercy seems frozen. So we gotta wait for her to unfreeze. So you guys are hearing that first. That story is something that most people would not know at all. That is how I came to actually be in this space. Because people have a habit of, you just kind of here and you've always been here. And no, that's not my story. That is not how I got here. So I am a very, very strong believer in you have to find the right place to be at the right time, because it makes all the difference. So sometimes, especially right now, things are really risky, and it's so easy for people to decide that, oh, you just want to do what's safe. But here's the problem. If you're just going to stick with what's doing what is safe, you're probably going to miss out on a big open door that's waiting just for you. So you've got to believe in yourself and kind of keep going and taking things forward. So hold on. Let me see if I can reach. I'm going to reach out to Mercy on another device. And see if we make sure we get back connected. Let's see here. Oh dear. I don't know if everything's frozen, because she's frozen on that end too. So I'm gonna see what's going on. Let's add messenger her. I am still here. Do we need to reconnect? I'm seeing what she's saying about the instructions. Let's see. Okay, I am not sure. So I'm going to disconnect a second, guys, from here. I'm thinking we still seem connected. It says we're still live. Okay. Okay, there you
Oh
go.
my God. I got totally disconnected. Internet, yeah? Nigerian
Yeah, no,
internet.
that's okay. I
Oh God.
thought for a little while, and then I'm like, okay, hold on. Let's just make sure that
Thank you for your patience. Appreciate that. For everyone that waited, apologize. We're in Africa, and my internet is very good. I don't know.
There you go.
I need to call them and stream that. Okay, so thank you. I need to go back live on Instagram again because I totally got thrown off.
Oh, it looked like you could come back on. Okay, go ahead. Let me come off.
Sorry. Let me just try and sort that out very quickly. Oh no.
Yeah, it still says you're live.
It still says I'm live.
It says you're live.
I can't see it.
Oh,
So let me just go live again.
Go live again.
These things happen. I try not to get bogged down by it. I'm going to use my mobile data for that. Okay, we're live now, so you can request a call back in. Lizzy, sorry guys.
No problem. I got
Nigerian internet connection. It's one thing the government needs to fix. We want to have a competitive edge in the West. It's just ridiculous. Okay. Thank you. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. My apologies. Thank you. Hi. Let me just display everyone's name. So thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you guys for your patience. Thank you.
Okay, there you
I
go.
should have been. Awesome. Thank you, Lizzy. But your audio was a little low, so maybe you need to increase the audio or something.
Let me increase my audio. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, Rosemary. You can drop a comment on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Whatever comment you drop, we can interact with you easily. Okay? I can. Well, it's not showing your face. It's showing more on the side.
Oh,
So you might need to adjust the position. Awesome. Better. Apologies, everyone. Apologies. Hi.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah, much better. Sorry about that, everyone. So I was saying that this is our untold stories. Stories that we can't talk when we're training, so that you can know that we're the same. We feel the same pause. We're going through the same pain. But we'll be all right in the end. So number one, Lizzy said that Morris name, she ain't giving that name up for nothing. Okay?
I branded it.
She's branded the name.
Stuff gone into
That's part of the blessings of marriage. You lose your name, you give it to a man. When that is over, you don't have anything to do. You still have to keep the name. I'm sure he's very happy that you're keeping his name. He may not like it, but he loves it. Don't mind it. Anyway, so another thing she said, she stumbled on this agile journey when she did not anticipate that was her go-to. As you can hear from our story, she went with a hunch. Which job should I take? She said she didn't have anything when she went into America, but Agile changed her life. So I'd like you to tell us, you've told us where it started. What has been some of the challenges that you've had to endure despite the audacious move to come into the Agile space?
The biggest challenge was...
You're a bit too far from your mic.
The biggest challenge was starting. Okay, actually getting started, because it's the confidence factor. Sometimes you doubt you have enough experience to get started. And I remember first couple of interviews I used to do back in the day, I was always really like nervous, and you're sweating everywhere. Because I'm like, oh, I don't think I know I have the answer. Oh, I don't think I have the answer. And I would constantly be interviewed. And I learned later on that the secret to interviewing is not about your qualifications. It's about making the connection and showing that because you can connect to them, you can connect to what's going on with the organization, and that you have something to bring. Because if you didn't have the qualifications, you don't end up in the interview anyway. And most of the time we spend our interviewing time justifying, I should be here. I am qualified. I am qualified. You wouldn't have been in the seat if you weren't qualified. So it's like, that's a tick in the box. The rest is making the connection. And I learned that's what I needed to do to get over the fear factors of interviewing, was make a connection with the people I was interviewing with. And that made a huge difference. All right. So that was probably the biggest challenge for me to initially get over, so that I could get in the market. Right? Because I'd already been a consultant and I had consulting experience, but I didn't have what I thought was enough agile experience to really be part of, those kinds of jobs. But I just went for it anyway. And sometimes that's what you've got to do. If you believe you have the ability to learn and you have the ability to adapt, and there's something about you think a company should want, then you just got to go for it.
It's quite fascinating. It's quite fascinating that that's the first thing that stood out to you, that your biggest challenge was starting. I grew up with my pastor saying something very powerful. He says, Mercy, that procrastination is a thief of our lives. I will do tomorrow. I will do tomorrow. And the tomorrow never comes. So I hear you when you said the greatest issue was actually going for interviews and taking that step. Because a lot of people are of the mindset that I'm qualified, I'm good enough. But you've not even started to even grade your strength. You have to start. I'd like to speak to some people that are in this space. Just walk through how you were able to overcome that you started.
The worst possible thing that can happen is somebody can say no. That's the worst.
Is what?
The worst thing anybody can do to you in an interview or when you start going for a job or blocking you is saying no. That's the worst. The best is that they can open a door.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I had to boil it down to, simplify it. So if they say no, does that mean I don't eat? Does that mean I don't have a place to live? Does that stop me from going for another job? No. Okay, then let's just do it. Sometimes you have got to be your own motivational coach, right? Because many of us won't be in the position where you have a coach on dial, like, please motivate me. So you have got to find a way to push yourself past your fears, right? So you've always got to be able to do it, and you've got to learn a technique to be able to do it in the present, because that's always where you're going to need it, right? How to push yourself past your present pause. And it's not an intentional pause because it's not yours, right? It's a perceived pause. And you've got to be able to push yourself past that. If you don't, you do get caught, right? And then you're giving your brain more information to say you shouldn't move forward. So then your brain makes you feel extra scared every time you try to push forward now, because its files say, oh, if we push forward, oh my God, we're going to feel horrible. It's going to feel really bad. So you're going to have to retrain your brain and give your brain new evidence when you're trying to move forward, right? Because every time you make that step and you didn't die and you didn't have a heart attack, your brain goes, oh, okay, yeah, we can push. Okay. And it will go with you with your next push. But you got to keep learning to push and push so your brain becomes used to, oh, we're pushing again. Yeah, no big deal. We're going to push. Boom, let's push. But if you keep holding yourself back with that procrastination and the worst could happen, the worst could. But is the worst going to kill you or starve you to death or hurt your children or your family? Nah. So it's really not the worst.
It is. So I had an interview situation. Someone from Kenya reached out to me yesterday and said, hi, Lentor, I really love your session where you trained on Jira. And I'd like you to interview me. I have an interview tomorrow, which is tomorrow, Thursday. So sure, but this is what I charge. She goes, she can't pay. I said, no problem. I'm not after the money. So I gave her some competency-based question, and the way she answered, I said, I won't tell you what to do. And I gave her scenarios, how you could answer the questions, and she was able to take on board this example. So what was the first? You've gone off Instagram, Lizzy.
Oh.
I'm not sure what happened. My network is proper crazy today.
Okay,
I don't know. Sorry, guys, she's off, yeah, some shows. Thank you.
Thank you for letting me know that.
Thank you for that, because I didn't even know. I just saw it. Guys, give us a second. This technology will work. We're making it work, so it's got to work.
We're runners of all this kind of technology, right? So we gotta suffer the pain.
Yeah.
So that the future has it easy.
Yeah, so one of the things that she said is, listen, don't psychoanalyze yourself. Just do it. Do it where you are. If you overthink it, you will never do it. Right, Lizzy? Is that not what you're saying?
You won't.
So it's important that you take attention to this information and don't be caught up in, I will do tomorrow. Do today. Do now, because this industry is begging for a lot of Black people. And that's why LEARNTOR.ng is particularly passionate to bridge the gap by bringing you expert professionals in this space to come and share their story so that you know you are not alone, that you can do anything you set your heart to do and you can achieve it. So, can I ask you, Lizzy, what advice would you advise, especially women? Because we are one of the most resilient people. What advice would you give to them? And they feel hopeless. They feel like, I'm not sure I can. I've had people tell me I can't. It's too techy. But by the time they join some of my classes, they're like, wow, mercy, whoa, it's an eye opener. So what advice would you give to them?
You can get into this industry without being a tech, right? You can. When I got in, I wasn't a tech. I'm still not a tech. I don't program, right? It's not my skill set. It's not my space. But what I do bring is I bring personal skills. I bring soft skills, right? I bring techniques. I bring team building. I bring people the ability to see things in a different way. That's powerful. Most of us as women have a lot of soft skills and skills we've gained from other industries. All you've got to do is bring it across the bridge. That's it. Bring it across the bridge. Nobody's going to ask you to program anything. Nobody's expecting you to teach a programmer how to program. That's not what you're doing when you get into this space. There are people who come into this space from a technical point of view. The people who started the space, a lot of them were technical, but all of them weren't. And most people don't know that. So you can get in even if you have no technical experience. Don't let that be a blocker. If you've got business experience, you've got people experience, you should be looking at the agile space, because the agile space is about helping people relate to other people so they can do work well. So
Wow. Wow. So, who has a question for Lizzy? I'm happy to take a question so she can respond to your question, because this is supposed to be an interactive session. Does anybody have any questions for her? Any questions directly? Thank you, Mary. She said emotional and soft skills. Thank you. And hello, all. Life coach Edith in the house. Thank you, Edith. Do we have any question for Lizzy? What do you want to ask her? These are untold story. Okay, Sumptuous. I always thought it was techie. No, it is absolutely not techie. That's from Instagram, by the way. It is not.
it's not.
This space is begging. You know what? I've done too much research to discover why a lot of people are so scared. And we feel the need to hide under entertainment. You have to be controversial. And we entertain, listen, this is something that is a major pain point for me, though.
Mm-hmm.
We entertain the West with a gift. We don't have the visibility. Yes, you become viral sensation, but you are not savvy. So she said, Sumptuous Tree says, so please, how can I get started, ma'am? You need to start where you are, like you've been attending my class.
And I mean,
Where you are.
one of the things that LearnTor is doing is giving you guys entry courses that are free to give you that base understanding of what's going on so you can start to get this knowledge and start to work with it. You can go to the agilemanifesto.org, agilemanifesto.org. It's a free site. It's an old site, but it's a free site. And you
That's a shade.
but you can go there and look at the Agile Manifesto and read it. Read those values, read those principles, and see how do they affect you and how would you relate them to the working environment? How would you put that in a space where people are working together? Don't get stuck on the working software or the software.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get stuck there, because that's where once people read that part, oh, when I don't do software, I'm not a programmer. I do that in school. Don't let that stop you, because that's where it started. Understand? The people who started in that space, but it's evolved and it's gone to so many spaces. It's in the medical industry, it's in the fashion industry, it's in pockets of entertainment, it's in the school industry. It's like, it's in the car industry, finance industry. A lot of you have backgrounds in those spaces. And if you are just coming out of school, like you're just coming out of university, you have the ability, you've proven you have the ability to focus and to get something done. If you have the ability to focus and get something done, then you have the ability to help other people find focus and to get things done. And in the role of a Scrum Master, that's kind of basically what you're doing, right? Is you're helping other people find the focus that is driven by the most value, and then just lock themselves into bringing their talent to bring something out of that focus. You can do that.
So what she's saying is just start where you are. I mean, I recently had a 5 days free training and open house where I just walk you through how to become an agile, just to have the mindset. It was free. I didn't charge a dime. And most of the participants today are like, they're loving the experience, like Mercy, the exposure. One of my participants goes, Mercy, this training you're offering is literally free. We're not paying for what you've asked us to pay for. As far as they're concerned, it's free. But the goal is, I want the entry, the barrier, that the cap that is affecting people that says, oh, it's such a tough place to be. But there's a question on board. Let me display it for you, Lizzy. There's a question from Emmanuel Awa. He says, have you ever had to deal with an incompetent team member?
We have to deal with incompetent team people all the time. But the point is, where is the incompetency coming from? That's what you got to do first. You got to put a label and call somebody incompetent. Where is the incompetency coming from? Is it that they don't have the ability to learn? Right? Is that why they're incompetent? Because they can't learn anything new? Or is it that the space they're in now, what they're dealing with, is new to them? And if something is new to somebody and they don't want to show that it's new, many times they get caught up in fear factor, right? So as a result, if you are put it this way, if I'm using two hands to constantly block so you don't see me, I can't use these two hands for anything else. Therefore, my performance could look like I'm incompetent. But what's happened is I've been distracted from the task that my hands need to be doing in order to shield myself. So it's important when you think you have an incompetent team member to check the environment. What is the environment out right now? Is it a safe environment? Is it an open environment? Is it welcoming? Is there something going on with the environment why this person is right now being incompetent? Right? So you've got to look at it. Once you put out a label, you've got to be very careful to understand what's driving the label. Because would the company have just have hired somebody incompetent? I doubt it.
Exactly.
All right. So I doubt it's an incompetent person. I think there's other things going around that are causing them to appear incompetent.
Incompetent.
Right. So it's
fantastic.
That's what you got to check. And that's very much why when we talk about Scrum Masters and we give them all the training and soft skills we start to give them, is so that when they see they're in a space where even other team members are starting to judge each other, that we pull away the concept of judging and provide feedback so people can inspect and adapt. That's the power of being in the Agile space is, you brought to my attention, there's a weakness for me here. Wonderful. Now I can make a plan to adapt to bring about a strength. And if you don't believe that at your very core, that people can make an adaptation for the better, this is not the industry for you. Yeah, stay away from this space.
Thank you so much. So listen, another thing that I would like to say to you is this, right? That don't be too bogged down with competency. Agile allows you to fail. And in allowing you to fail is to fail fast. Learn from that failure so you don't repeat that cycle. This is one industry this is a mindset that is so experimental. I mean, take for instance, let's go practical. Say today, I put this here and I come back and I come in and I see that, oh, this is not nice here. I experiment with another location. That's it. So long as you're willing to adapt, to adjust, to be open to learning, that's what Agile tests you with. And remember, as human beings, we are very opposing to change. So that is what it forces you to do different, not do the same. So somebody says, how do you handle a product owner that opposes Agile? Lizzy, that's you.
And I love product owners so much. They're my, it's like that's my jam. When it comes to a product owner who's opposing Agile, in many cases, they have never really read the Agile Manifesto. So they have
Exactly.
experience with something that was called Agile in the past. So all what's happened when you're talking Agile is trigger. I remember that stuff cost me a whole project. I remember how much we lost on that. So the important thing to do is to introduce to them little bits of Agile concepts. But don't call it Agile. Everybody's on this tip that you got to label everything. Don't. If I know you need to eat vegetables, but if I tell you you're eating vegetables, you're like, I don't eat vegetables. I got to find a way to mix vegetables so you don't know they're vegetables. Get you to be open to the taste. Now, once you're open to the taste and you start eating it, later on, I can tell you were eating carrots. I can tell you, oh, there were peas in there. I just use it as part of the sauce, right? I can tell you that later. What you want are the results that Agile will bring an organization, that Agile will bring, right, for that product owner. So focus on giving them techniques for the results, right? Don't focus on like you're going to beat them up with Agile. You are going to get this Agile stuff. I don't care you doing it. Don't do that because you're dealing with adults. And when you push an adult to do something they haven't decided to do, what are they going to do? Bring up resistance. And it's going to create animosity. So just a concept here, a concept there, just sprinkle it in for them till they start to open up to it. That's why my handle on social media used to be Agile Sprinkles, because I really believe that's where you have to start, like seasoning, just sprinkle a little bit more, then a little bit more, so that people could get that kind of tolerance for it. Right? That's just what we got to do.
Thank you so much for that. Basically, what she's saying is, sorry, this is adapting. This is Nigeria. This is Nigeria. Okay? They're going to change over shortly. But I'm sure you can hear my voices, right? My voice. So what she's saying in essence basically is this, right? That don't go, we have to do the agile ceremonies. We have to do the daily stand-up. After all, we have meetings. Why label it? And I really like that approach. So somebody else has another question. It says, does it's going to be on your screen on it says, does agility, yeah, does agility have to do with passion, or is it the ability anyone can pick up?
Okay, so when we talk about Agile really simply is 4 values and 12 principles. That's all Agile is. It's nothing more than that. When we're talking about now techniques tend to come attached with the frameworks and from the Agile community itself. So think about it like this. It's like you got a big, huge church, right? And you got District 1, District 2, District 3 branches of the church. Each church kind of sings a certain song a little bit different, right? They got a little different way they do it. And this one over here has a little different way they do it, but it's the same song, right? So you've got to remember all these frameworks are kind of like little branches of churches, right? So when they take in these principles and values, they got a little bit of different rhythm they put to it when they're utilizing it. And this framework puts a different sound to it when they're doing it. But everybody is embracing those 4 values and 12 principles. So when we're talking about Agile, it's embracing that. Now decide what you want to use as your implementation tool. what's the implementation tool, right? So your implementation tool could be Waterfall. Your implementation tool could be Scrum. Your implementation tool could be Kanban, right? Or it could be just something you make up because of the environment you're in. Go for that, right? You could do that. But while you're doing that, you're helping everybody be agile. Note what I just said. You're helping them be agile. And they're being agile because they embrace those 4 values and 12 principles. So it's about being agile, not doing agile.
Agile. That's the biggest disconnect. So I'm going to put that up as a post. Be agile, not doing agile, because the doing agile is what repels people from the agile approach to work. But you being agile, you being the change agent, making people see in you, whoa, how did you do that? They ask questions that actually draw and endears more people to participate. There's a question that says, I can't remember, no, on the other screen, on stream, it says, now to ask that one. Oh, it says, what, okay, yeah, in your grace, it said, what has been your most challenging experience in the agile space?
Okay. See why I'm
Your
pausing,
reaction
because
is
I'm like, do I
priceless.
tell you this or do I not tell you this? Okay, but we said untold stories. My most challenging experience in this space was when I wanted to get, kind of like rank up in essence, right? And become a CST when I wanted to rank up. Um, that was probably my most challenging time because it wasn't clear what it was I needed to hit to get there, right? There was no clear path. It just everything just kept moving and moving, right? 1 minute it was this, 1 minute it was that. And I felt that I was being judged for a lot of things that had nothing to do with my professionalism. And so for me in the agile community, that is the worst experience I have ever had, right? And I
Hmm.
wouldn't shit on my enemies. I really wouldn't, right? But regardless of how horrible I felt, regardless of how much turmoil it caused me, I still persevered, right? And this is why I am the first Black female in the world who's a CST, because I persevered. But it wasn't nice. It was the most horrible journey I've ever been on in my life, right? Wouldn't
You're the
ever.
first Black female.
I'm the first Black female in the world. Devon is the first Black male in the world.
Wow.
Right, that got into the space. But it wasn't nice. It wasn't a nice.
I know.
Everything up until when I decided I wanted to go for that was fabulous.
You're
And
out
then
of
when I
you're
decided,
out of Instagram
there
again.
we go. Oops, and probably come off this. Everything up until that point, and I'm gonna pause because I know I need to keep my screen open.
Guys, just let her join back so you don't miss out what she's saying.
Okay, I'm gonna go back.
Thank you. Uh, I
Replay.
love the comment.
Hold on, I'm gonna
Uh,
hold on. I gotta come back in on it. Well, 1 second. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Hold on. I'm coming back. All right, we're coming. Something like
okay.
it's coming. There we go. There we go. All right.
Perfect.
So
Okay.
the hardest, like I said, my worst experience in the Agile community was leveling up. So once I decided to level up, that's when it got nasty. It got nasty. It was horrible. Horrid, horrid, horrid. It was very expensive. It took a lot of my time. In fact, it even put my relationship on, in a really bad space because I became obsessed then with, I will do this regardless.
I
Tell me
know.
going to tell me now. I will. And I tend to be that way, right? If I get no too often, it doesn't necessarily mean no in my brain. It means no, not now. So,
Actually, like no though.
right. So I keep it going. You've got to get to it. Here's one of the things, and this is for everybody, right? Regardless of race, etc. For us, a lot of times it is harder. But you've got to know when you set your sights on a goal, it doesn't mean it's going to be easy to get there. Doesn't mean that. But it doesn't mean it's impossible. So although it's not easy, right, it doesn't mean it's impossible. It just means it's going to be hard. And you've got to make up in your mind, no matter how hard it's going to be, you're going to do it anyway. And push. Just push. Right? I mean, and there's still times for me, I walk into certain rooms and I don't necessarily feel the most welcome. But I smile and I'm nice and I stay pragmatic and I keep it going anyway. Right? Because at the end of the day, we deserve to follow our dreams. And your dream is worth following. And especially if you're, as long as, and here I'm going to be a little bit judgmental here, so I'm calling myself out. Okay. I would say as long as your dream, so here's my judgmental nature to that. As long as your dream won't hurt anybody, cause anybody physical harm, right? Or cause anybody to harm somebody else, I would say it's worthwhile doing. Now, some people have dreams that are going to hurt people. I got it. I try not to, that's not necessarily my space, right? But I say pursue the dreams and don't stop dreaming. Don't stop dreaming, right? It was a dream of a lifestyle I wanted for my children that made me go into this whole agile space in the first place. And then when I got into it, it was such a welcoming space at the time that it was a place I realized I could be forever. And the people who were in it were old people, like a lot of old people. You know what that said to me when I got in at a young age? That I could do this till the day I died. I don't know many industries, people, that you can get into and die in.
True.
Not many.
Very true. Yeah.
So this industry is welcoming to all ages. It doesn't appear welcoming to young people right now. It doesn't appear that way. That's just because there's a lot of old people, right? But the younger generation are going to be the people who will be the old people tomorrow. So you just got to get in.
Thank you so much. You were saying something. For me, the more you tell me no, the more hardcore I go at that no. Just to prove to you, not to prove to you, but to prove to myself, what you said I can't do, I'll do it. And I'll not just do it, I'll be the best at what I do. And that's what I've propelled my existence till today. So I've been through the darkest times ever, But today, that's not the case. Oh, there's so many information on Instagram. Let's see.
Okay. So it's not
during a spirit, okay, there's a question, yeah. Obina says, during a sprint, we had a developer on 2 projects running simultaneously who was constantly fatigued. Both teams had to cut down on the number of stand-up meetings to encourage the developer. So I don't know what the question is. Okay, just to buttress on failing and adapting. Okay, no, okay, it's giving his own personal experience. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, yeah, that's a sport with regards to that. Thank you, Obina, for sharing. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Okay, so guys, I don't know, does anybody else have a question for Lizzy? Listen, one thing I'm going to say to you today, don't be afraid to start. Start where you are. It's not that deep. I've said it before, over and over again. I started where I was. I was very disadvantaged. Nobody believed in who I am. Nobody thought I could amount to anything. Nobody thought. And Lizzy is so correct. Many accountants don't want to die as an accountant because they're broke at the end of the day. But many agilists, I know someone that was one of my mentees in the UK that got a job and she was 50. So it doesn't matter your age. Don't think you're too old. I can't do it. No, you can do anything you set your heart to do. And that's what Agile has come to force, a change, because it starts with here. Although Lizzy says it's more here, and I agree with that, because you have to love people I love what Louisa said last week. She said, for you to become an agilist, you must love people because you're going to be fostering collaboration. You're going to be working closely with a lot of people. So I'll take maybe 2 questions. If anybody has any questions for her, what would you like to know? Anyway, just tell us your experience doing your first Scrum exam. How hard was it? What was your state of mind?
Was that a question for me? Sorry, I was reading some stuff that was going there.
I know there's too many information coming up.
Go say that again.
No, I said taking your first Agile Scrum exam. How hard was it for you? And by the way, let me give you guys shocker here. Lizzy that you're seeing, she's a mother of 4 boys, not children. 4 boys. So
Please don't give his children. Oh, that's hilarious.
so she started late. There's hope for anyone that think, oh, it's not for me. No, there's nothing stopping you. You are your blocker. Make that blocker go away and start. I'm going to have another, Lenta is going to have another open session, another career open day for 5 days. I'm going to invite Lizzy to come and speak to you guys when we announce it. It's going to be in October, so be on the lookout. So tell us about your Scrum exam. What was the experience?
I have test anxiety.
Oh, really? Me too.
Once you say test to me, my body's like, oh, you know, I'm doing all of this on the inside because I have test anxiety. I just do it. Right. So I'm very conscious that happens, that when you go into test mode, your brain goes, I know nothing. So as a result of that, the way I teach has a lot to do with that. Why I always give people hacks and little things that they can use to remember information, so that when they go into that space, they don't have to go and do that, because I know what that feels like. So I'm telling you, every time I have to sit an exam, I fret, I sweat. Oh God, it's horrible, you know. And then I press submit, and I do like kind of worst case scenario, just take it again. Right? And then you see pass. Oh God. So I feel that way about once you say exam or test, that's where my brain goes. Right. Period. So there are lots of tests I've taken. they're just test isn't a good word for me. If you said conversation or share your opinion, but test, I'm just being honest with you. I definitely gotta.
I feel you on that. You know, recently when I was taking my digital marketing professional exam, I got to realize that for some reason, I don't know, Africans, God will help us. We have a lot of work to do. And it's not because we don't have the technical ability to resolve. I got to discover that I was dyslexia. I have dyslexia.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So I didn't know what it was. Who would test me? Anyway, did I even have the money for the test? Does that make sense? So decide who will tell you as growing up. Because when you go for your medical checkup, taking your children abroad, doctors would have done some tests and they would point out there's something here that you need to pay attention to. But we don't even go to the hospital. When we go to the hospital, it's not that measurable to international standard for you to discover what the challenges are. So I totally get.
You know,
Was anyone
so I would say this to you: when it comes to learning, I don't think any country is great on testing children for learning disabilities until they manifest a behavior or they have. And the problem is, most parents don't think there's a learning disability, so they just think you're not trying hard enough, you're lazy, or depending on the culture you come from, you're stupid, you're dumb, and what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? And there could really be a learning disability. I remember struggling to read at the age of like 6.5. Reading was so, the stuff wouldn't just come together for me. All my friends were like reading like this, and I felt it created in me this real big stigma inside that, okay, I'm not as smart as everybody else. Right. And I never got tested for a learning disability, but my godmother gave me, I think I was like 9ish, 10, gave me Mills and Boon's books. They're like romantic
I know. We read them here.
So that's what spun my reading for me. Now I can speed read. Right. But it's obviously there was something, because I know one of my sons has struggled in that area. And again, I didn't take him to get tested because culturally, there must be something. What do you mean? What do you mean you can't do it? You can't. Because nobody would really talks about the fact that it can just be a learning disability. And once you get that
Mm-hmm.
corrected, you're fine, because there's nothing wrong with the brain. You're just processing things different. So it's not
Differently, yeah.
ability, it's a different process. You process
Mm-hmm.
differently, so it has to be translated for you, right? So I would say to those of you who are parents, if you do notice your children seem to be, they're not performing at where you think they should perform, there is no embarrassment in taking your children and getting them tested, because now you could help your child to do better.
Okay, so there's a question on the screen. It said, "What are some of the techniques that helps to connect?" Okay,
Help you
to
to connect
connect the world.
with people.
What are we connecting to? There's another one. How would you advise anyone going into Agile without any technical experience? Just come in as you are. Have an open mindset.
Come in and learn how to package what you do have. Your soft skills, really speak up to those, right? And present that. And understand most of the organizations that are being agile and have got techniques that are there, everybody in the organization is not a software developer,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's happening in the business areas of the organizations too. So don't let that be a thing for you. Well, thank you. It confirms that what
Wow.
techniques.
Thank
Okay.
you so
Wait,
much.
there we go. What are some of the techniques that you can use to connect in the interview? Talk to the people. When you go in to an interview, start a regular conversation. Everybody in the organization is not a software developer. Oh, good.
Thank you, Lizzy. Sorry, I was trying to get on the YouTube.
Okay.
Um, okay, I wanted to display. It's not taking messages. Why? Okay, for some reason. I don't know why it's not taking
I see
messages.
some stuff here in the comments. So I was answering the question about connect. He put it on the bottom part of how do I connect when I'm in a
Okay,
interview.
yeah. Okay,
And
there's
I
another question. Let me see on Instagram. Okay, they were giving you some props that you're looking good. I know she is.
thank you.
When I announced you have 4 children. Okay, well said, Obina. Thank you, Obina, for sharing. I really appreciate that. Okay, I don't think we have any particular questions, but overall, I just want to say, Lizzy, thank you. It's been insightful. I've got to know that Morris is your branded name, and the name ain't going nowhere.
Okay, it's not going nowhere, regardless of what my future holds or who's in it. That's going to be the name.
Yeah. So if you missed the gist, why she said that name is not going anywhere, go replay the first part of it and watch. You'll get to know the why. So, if would you like people to follow you on LinkedIn, right?
Please, on LinkedIn, you can follow me on your agile lady. Same
Let
thing.
me get your LinkedIn icon. Oh, yeah. So she's Lizzy Morris on LinkedIn. If, So if you have any question for her, you can ask her. And she is amazing. I've never seen someone so receptive as she is. She is
And
incredibly
okay, so if you
what?
guys search Bearded Eagle, the name of the company.
Let me actually type it out because I know that I saw it online. So it can be shared. Yeah. Bearded Eagle.
Bearded
So
Eagle.
that's a company and that's who she represents. She's a teacher, she's a coach, she's just an incredible human being, and I do celebrate you greatly. I celebrate
You
you.
guys have done so much. I mean, it's been so funny. One of the things, she talked about procrastination earlier. One of the things I've been procrastinating with was doing the whole live situation, like do lives, just go on and do lives. If it hadn't been for Mercy and a couple of other friends like her who I've met, who were like, no, Lizzy, come on, just it's easy. And she gave me some technology last night when we were prepping stuff. And I'm like, ooh, okay, I'm going to do it. So now I have got stuff set up that I will be doing lives. I actually purchased it last night. I made a purchase. For the
I have to take us through this.
The big ring lights here. I got the other camera over there. So I'm like, I got my whole space now ready to record. And behind here is my hardcore, what I call hardcore working space. So now I put this, so the hardcore working space and the other desk is behind it. And I got a little cubicle to do recording in now. So I will be now doing this.
A lot of life. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you see, that's one of the things that we do
about this for so long.
Procrastination, right? Can you imagine Lizzy? And by the way, she has 20-something thousand following on Instagram. She's not doing anything there. For real.
I'm doing anything for the longest ever time. So I'm going to start because it's like, there's nothing.
Honestly, the trick to this is start where you are. I started with Mary, Employee Agility. You can follow her on Instagram as well. I started with her. The first day, I didn't perfect the craft. Today, I've seen some things to learn that I've adapted. And that's the mindset of Agile. Remember, it has to do with your mind. And don't be afraid to start where you are. Honestly, the goal for learntor.ng is to bridge the skill gap. I just feel there's so much disconnect with Africans, with the Black race. And no matter how much you criticize the West, you will still go work for them because they have the technical know-how that we are deficient in. We are great entertainers. We give all the entertainment in the world. They don't entertain you. They sit and watch they consume your entertainment and make money off of it. Not because there's anything wrong with it, but it's because we have refused to school ourselves to have the technical skill that we require to give us a competitive edge. And we like to cut corners. I don't believe in cutting corners. I like the process. I can remember when I started my life with, I've been doing live, by the way, but I started Let's Talk Agile with Mary. I'm always live. But professionally, I started Let's Talk Agile with Mary, but I've been doing Agile conversation before now. But the goal is, I've started. This is going to be an ongoing activity. So next week, I'm going to display my next guest for next week. She's Claudia. You will get to see a picture just in a little bit. So let me just share. So what would you like to say to our guest? What would you like to say to them? Maybe some words of encouragement just to motivate, because you're a public speaker, so you know what I mean.
When I say this, you guys are going to be upset with me on this one. But here's one of the key things I say. To decide whether or not to go forward, ask yourself what the value proposition is for you and for your family. Like, how is this going to add value to your life? Or how is it going to take away from your life if you don't? So weigh the two sides up. How will it add? How will it take away? If you learn to have what I call a value engine behind everything you do, it will go beyond motivation. Motivation is like a drug. And like you get a stab of it. Yeah, I can do it. And then it goes, and you need another stab, right? You need another hit. If you learn to find your value, the value factor behind whatever you're doing, you will never need motivation again. Ever. So for whatever you're doing, find the value factor. How is it going to value you, or how is it going to take away value from you? If it's going to value, then you will do it because it matters for you, regardless of somebody motivating you. Because the value lasts after the motivation is gone. Always remember that. The value will last after the motivation is gone.
Wow.
So find your value factor.
Wow. So honestly, I'm going to put that as a quote ahead of next week for my guest. What is your value factor? Let me just blow your mind. An average cost for a Scrum Master in the US per annum is $135,000 US. In the UK, It's about 95. I'm talking about a Scrum Master. I'm not even talking about a coach. It's about 85 to 90,000 US dollars. So you need desperately to find your value factor. I found mine, and that's why you see that I say what I say. I'm always trying to inspire. I'm always trying to push. I'm always trying to motivate. I'm always trying. Yes, Obina, I like that value. Loss, yes, it's fantastic. Honestly, find your value factor. That is the game changer. So for next week, I'm bringing Claudia. She is a scrum.org professional trainer. And she's one of the facilitators that is going to be training my students for 1 week for their PSM1 certification. Anyway, some of you have been like, oh, I missed the last one. It's still going to be open again where you will learn about Scrum, about getting into this sector. It's free. It's going to be 3 to 5 days. I've not decided if it's going to take 5 days or 3 days, where you can actually be part of the process. I walk you through everything that you need to know. So that's our next week's guest. Her name is Claudia, and she's going to be talking our story from a perspective, not now from the black race. We have a lot of things, the odds are stacked against us. But you would think that that's not the case for them. It will be the same. We're all human beings. We all have struggles. We all have demons that we're dealing with. The key thing, yes, Tolulala, the value factor. If I come into the agile space, what is going to be my value factor? What am I going to take away? How many families do I want to feed? Do I want to change the way I do business? Do I want to change my lifestyle? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing agile. I'm being agile. Being agile by having daily stand up with my children. What did we do so well? I didn't label it. They don't even understand what we're doing. Mom, we have not done it today. I go. It helps with conversation. And the children said, I did this yesterday. I didn't do so well today. I've not been consistent though. It's a struggle because I do so much. So find your value factor. So Lizzy, I've stolen that word. I'm going to be putting it value factor. It's going to be my hashtag. I use it everywhere. So what is your value factor? So answer the question yourself. What is your value factor? So let me see. You said it was through connection that you got to. Oh yeah. Oh, remember when you were talking about
interviews, connecting?
Yes, connecting. Do you want to speak to that? Maybe
So
as a final
here's the
note.
key thing when you guys go into interviews, because you'll go into lots of them, and especially now you'll be doing a lot of them virtually. Find a human connection point first. Make the connection with the human before you're after what the human has to give to you. Right? So connect with them. So how's it been going? You could use COVID as the topic. Everybody's got a COVID story, right? But how are things going for you? How are you adjusting to being at home? And how's you feeling, what have you done lately? Do you have kids? Or that, just get it human. Because the minute you make them human, you'll start to have a conversation.
Exactly.
And you'll flip it from just being an interview. So it will make you feel better. You'll be in a better position yourself if you make the connection first. So that's something I always coach people: make a connection in the interview before you start to be interviewed. Okay? Make a connection. Because then I don't mind talking to you. Right? As the
I
interviewer,
mean,
I don't
I've
mind
never met her before. LinkedIn connection. I was a human being to her. I'm always, every time I connect with her, she's always, connect, be human.
It's a human, right?
Don't focus on the processes. Don't focus on the procedure. Focus on being kind, on empathy, on consideration, which is what Agile forces you. For you to try and collaborate, you need
number one value.
That's it.
Individuals and interactions.
Yes, that's it.
It's the number one value. If you believe, embrace that the connection with the individual is the most important thing. The other stuff follows. You do more business with people you have connections with than strangers. Always remember that, right? Because connections always bring more things back around because of the
Yeah.
connection. So
I was a
always,
human being when I met Martin. And Martin connected me with Scrum.org, and Scrum.org as being such, as giving my, I mean, all the people that are going to be taking my class, they are taking a course that would have costed them so much for just nothing, literally nothing. That is connection. The human, be agile, don't do agile. That's it. Find your value factor. Find your value factor if you can hear us. Okay. So thank you, Rosemary. Thank you for saying that. So we want to appreciate you from the depth of our heart. Lentor is highly appreciative of you being here and connect. Yes, Tolulola, the human, find a connection point first. Other things will follow. And that was what I talked about, Tolulola, in the class, right? Yesterday with the video I played. Because until we find that connect, we ain't going nowhere. People don't buy what you sell, they buy who you are. Your heart is what they buy.
right.
So that's all I can say. Thank you so much, Lizzy.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank
It's
you.
been
And
it's been it's been
hope you guys got value out of this, and it's going to
oh
keep.
no, are you kidding? I told you I got too much value. I got, I mean, it just reaffirms what I know, but I took away. Find your value factor. That's number one, and that's so key, and that's very apt. Thank you so much for sharing. I'll probably call you another time. We'll have, and when you're going live as well, I'm happy to come on your own podcast.
Yes,
And
we're gonna do that. We're gonna do it. We're gonna
yeah,
do it.
yeah, yeah.
I'm going to do the announcement on Friday and open up the channel, the YouTube channel. I'm doing it on Friday. I'm gonna
Yeah, yeah.
think that I'm doing it. So yes, and the show is going to be in the mirror with Lizzy.
In the mirror with Lizzy. Oh,
Lizzy,
I
because
look forward to that.
we're going to be inspecting and adapting things. So we're going to have to look at it. So that's how, when I say in the mirror, we will be inspecting and adapting what's going on,
Wow.
what's going on with our lives. Let's find how we can adapt it to make value happen.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lizzy. Thank you.
Take
Have
care.
a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day. And thank you, everyone, for joining. Let me give you a shout out, everyone. Let me see. Can you say something? Maybe thank you. Okay, Franca, I will display your name. I like giving people visibility. See, the truth of the matter is,
How did
this
you
is my,
looking on her brings her up like that? When you're in the
I'll show it to you when we go offline. But just let me just go on. So, Franca, I'll show you now. Shane Monroe and Caribbean, thank you for joining. These are some of our students. Okay, you didn't tell me thank you, Caribbean. I shouldn't have shown your name. Yes, we've got a lot of value. Thank you so much. The human connection. Yes, Shane. Find your value factor. If you say something, I'll display your name, right? Okay, not just thank you. Oh, thank you a lot, Lace. Yes, thank you, Oyetola Motsunde. Okay, so thank you, everyone. I really appreciate you guys taking the time. Mary, thank you for being here as well. You were here last week. I appreciate that. You're truly amazing, sister. Let me give credit to people on Instagram as well. So thank you. Celebrate Beauty with Joanne. Fantastic. I celebrate you. I thank you, Sumptuous, Mommy J Store. I thank you, everyone. Tolulola, see you in class in a little while. Yeah?
Che, thank you. So now we do that. Okay, cool.